Peymon who?
Mottahedeh.
Peymon Mottahedeh. Who is he?
Never paid taxes in 30 years. Fought the U.S. tax court and won.
See, I believe our rights come from God, not from government. Hello, my truth and freedom-seeking friends. I am Peymon Mottahedeh, the president of Freedom Law School, which I created in 1996. And for over 30 years, I have not paid the federal government any income on payroll taxes openly, and at the same time teaching you, the American people, to be safe. Our website is freedomlawschool.org, and in this presentation, I will show you how the deep state, way back in 1913, deceived you and our grandparents and great-grandparents to become slaves of the U.S. government by defining things in tax law, in the federal tax laws like this Internal Revenue Code, differently what you and I think what those words mean. And now let's go to this amazing discoveries I came across. So again, let's summarize. This 1040 U.S. individual income tax return is not for you. The people with 50 states is for D.C. individuals. In tax law, Section 7701 of the Internal Revenue Code defines United States and state as only District of Columbia, not the 50 states. And we know in this video how income tax was established in the U.S. despite the 16th Amendment. I cover how direct taxes had to be apportioned or divided up amongst the states, as you can see here. And they didn't want to do that. The international banksters who created the Federal Reserve back in 1913 wanted a way to be able to take your money to pay the interest on the loans they were going to make to the federal government by the Federal Reserve making money out of thin air. So, since they didn't want to do the cumbersome way of revenue for the federal government, they used deception. Here is the 1913 first income tax law after the ratification of the 16th Amendment, which was not ratified anyways, and did not give any new taxing powers at all. But despite that, they pretended like that it did. So here we go now. Look at this law. The term United State or United States, when used in a geographical in this section, shall be construed to include any territory, Alaska, the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, and the Philippine Islands, when such construction is necessary to carry out its provisions. Even back then, folks, you see it right there in front of you. The 50 states were not included. Only D.C. and its territories were state and United States. That's who the income tax applied to, even back in 1913. Right here, you see it, but of course, the truth was hidden in the law books. Now, what happened in the 19 teens, 20s, and 30s? There were more revenue acts, and they took out the territories over time. Those are no longer video. I'm going to jump forward right now to the 1939 Act. You know, where here it is, statutes at large. In the 1939 Internal Revenue Code was codified. And here, the definition of United States and state were codified here. As you can see, United States and state include only the territories, okay, of Alaska, Hawaii, and D.C. And territories, all territories were in states and D.C. So only U.S. territories and D.C. are in definition term United States. Let's go to 1954 now. In 1954 definitions, here we go a little further. Look at this. United States, when used in a geographical sense, includes only the states and the territories of Alaska, Hawaii, and District of Columbia. And the term state shall be construed to include the territories and the District of Columbia, right? So let's go to 1959, fold this up. In 1959 law, what happened? Alaska became a state. No longer U.S. territory. They took it out. Here it is, folks. Section 7701A of the Internal Revenue Code, okay, and related to the definition of the United States is amended by striking out territories of Alaska and Hawaii and inserting in lieu thereof territory of Hawaii. That's right. Alaska and Hawaii both were taken out, and Alaska put back in. Hawaii put back in, right? But next year now, they're going to take Hawaii out when it becomes a state. Watch this, okay? This is July 12th, 1960 Internal Revenue Code, right? Here, look at that. Section 7701A9 and A10 were amended, right? Relating to the definition of the United States, it's amended by striking out the territory of Hawaii. And definition of states is amended by striking out the territory of Hawaii. Hawaii is no longer a territory. And for good measure, look at this. They made all these amendments and changes you just read effective as of August 21st, 1959. Why? Because that's the day that Hawaii became a U.S. state. They knew they could not tax people in Hawaii anymore because Hawaii now is a sovereign state like the other states. And look at, so now you know this is all there is in federal tax law. It applies only to D.C. people, folks. Okay? Now let's go over something else. Trade or business. In A26 is defined in federal tax laws. Look at that term as different from the Washington, D.C. tax law in 1938. Congress passed. That's right. It was a District of Columbia Revenue Act of 1939. And for this title, trade or business for D.C. includes what? Engaging in or carrying on any trade or business, profession, vocation, or calling, or commercial activity in a District of Columbia, and include the performance of function of public office. For D.C., here they choose to add commercial activities. But in general income tax, in general, they didn't do that. They can do it that way any way they want. It shows they know the distinction. If they want to add the commercial activities, businesses, they can. When they don't, they don't. So it shows you that trade or business means exactly that and no more, that what's here. So now we know the United States does not apply in tax law to you. This form is for D.C. citizens and residents, folks. Yes, okay. The deception lies in key terms defined differently than your dictionary. This U.S. individual income tax return is not a 50 states, but is a District of Columbia individual income tax return. The label of the heading of the form should say D.C. individual income tax return, but they don't do that. They use United States, and then they in the book they hide the definitions at the end, section 7,700, so you don't read it, don't look at it. Your lawyer doesn't know. He's ignorant too, because he was not taught this at law school either, and that's how I got the American people enslaved. What you want to do, folks, is very simple. You've got to go to our website, freedomlawschool.org, and go on with the journey to be free. Now, what you want to do, watch the more complete video. The link is below. I'm going to go over this topic in more complete detail. This is just the introduction. So to know more about this, to verify even more for yourself, click on the link below to complete presentation of this topic. And remember, I love everyone. I want you to live free like you want to, but I cannot do that for you. I can only provide you the information. You have to choose to go to freedomlawschool.org, to our website. As you drive around town, going to and from work or errands, listen to our videos as you watch and work carefully. When you get home, then having lunch or dinner or at work, grab your cell phone, play the sound, read, and verify what you're doing. It's not. It's the law. It's on U.S. government's official legal websites and all the news and publications. With that, I give you my love, and I wish you all a life of freedom, joy, and prosperity.